Hello, everyone. It's Kim. I wanted to share some insights today. This is one of the biggest thing that comes up with any of the clients I work with, men and women. But since most of whom I'm working with are women, it's a huge energy with women that keeps us suppressed. And suppress not just like we don't feel good, like depression, or I don't feel joy in my life, but physiologically really suppresses health. And so many women I've seen with really severe chronic illnesses or chronic pain have an imbalance with this particular kind of energy. And it's the masculine and feminine energies in our body. And one of my favorite mentors, London Angel Winters, talks about it as alpha and omega energies, because whether we're male or female, we all have both. So, it's like, to what degree do I have the omega, which is more the feminine energy, or the alpha, which is more the masculine energy? And we could make a generalization that most men have more alpha energy than omega, and most women have more omega energy than alpha, like as their natural state and their natural baseline. It's definitely not true for all men or all women. But for all of us, no matter what gender you may be or identify as, we do have some of each one. When these are in balance, meaning our personal balance, maybe you've got like 10% omega energy and 90%, and that's your natural balance, or the other way around. You've got like maybe 20% alpha energy and 80% omega, and that would be your natural ideal balance. Most of us are living out of our natural balance, meaning, especially in a society that kind of like suppresses the omega, the feminine energy, and really celebrates and enforces the alpha energy, we come out of our natural balance, right? We'll like cultivate more of the alpha energy, and we'll suppress, hide, repress more of our omega energy. This is a problem for men and women. Like I know, especially in relationships, like if men don't learn to be expressive at all of their feelings, they lose, right? Because even if they're an alpha male, they need a little bit of that omega balance in order to fuel the alpha, get out and do it, or the health and testosterone imbalance, and then vice versa. It's a major problem in a society that really prioritizes alpha energy, that we begin to look within and not take that on. So what are the alpha and the omega energies specifically? So the omega is more the feminine principle. It's the inner, the unseen. It's the creativity of kind of like sensing, feeling, connecting within. Obviously, this is in the unseen. The alpha is the outer, the doing, be productive, achieve, challenge, competition. It's the outer and the seen. Now, it's not just a matter of like the omega is the airy fairy. Let's just like not talk about that. I don't understand it. As I said, it's something that lives within us all, and to the degree that we suppress it, we will have ill health. We will have bad relationships. We will have anxiety, depression. Like, it's pretty universal. So when we look and actually come back into balance, it's one of the most powerful things we can possibly do for every area of our life, especially relationships, especially physical health. So I wrote a few things specifically down. We've got two hemispheres of the brain, right and left. So this duality of alpha and omega. The omega is more the left brain, sensing, feeling. The alpha is more the right. The omega is more the right brain. The alpha is more the how do we do this? The left brain. Did I say that's right? Because the feminine is more left brain, the masculine is more right brain. So the outer, the doing, the like executive function, how do I figure this out? How do I fix this problem? Versus the omega is like, how do I feel about this? What feels right for me? What's my path? Let me get my clarity. And we go inner. So when we are undeveloped with this, we're going to be imbalanced in our alpha omega energy. And I still think I said it wrong, because the alpha is like that left brain, linear, logical, and the right brain is the feeling and sensing. So we'll put that together. So when we are in relationships, I'm going to talk about relationship first and then health. We will attract not what is our ideal, right? Like say I'm a naturally omega woman and I love like, oh, beautiful things. I want to live in a beautiful place and have awesome relationships and feel good and have a family and have a home with, connection with others and abundance and wealth in my life and feel peace and harmony, right? So to the degree that I'm aligned in my omega, I can receive and be a great receiver and let life meet me there. But what happens for so many women is we bump that out. In fact, I just had a private client in a session with this amazing woman, and she wants to get pregnant. And she hasn't been able to get pregnant, and she's up this whole journey of like all the things that she thinks she needs to do and the way she needs to eat. And then there's like tension around that and rigidity and restriction. And all of this is, of course, alpha. So we're like trying to alpha our way to this very omega creative process. It just isn't going to work. But one of the things she saw is how much through her life she got on the path of like, boom, alpha. I'm going to manage. I'm going to go. I'm going to focus on the outer. I'm going to achieve. And then when it came time to understanding like, what's going on in my body, there wasn't that awareness. There wasn't that connection, and things weren't working in harmony for like fertility. So one of the things that she did, and we did this in the session, was to connect back with the part of herself who made that conclusion, who made that choice. And I'd say for like pretty much all women I've worked with who've been more in the masculine energy than is their natural balance, there's somewhere along the way or multiple points along the way where they made the conclusion, like, I am not going to have that happen to me again. Let me tighten, let me control, let me constrict, let me suppress what I feel and just march on. So they'll become very competitive, very driven, and then very rigid, like, I'm not going to do that. And even like angry at men. The problem is never about men. It's about where we've let the alpha energy, the masculine energy, overrule in our lives, in our society, and in our own body system. That's where the problem happens. So if you have been angry at men, or if you have a daughter who's angry at men, you actually want to look here. You want to look at like, wait a minute, where have I decided inside me, right? Because society will tell you this, but where did I buy and sell it to myself that the masculine energy is more important or superior to or better than the feminine element? Now, if you don't really know what I'm talking about, feel into your body right now. Just like get a sense of scale of 1 to 10. How at peace do I feel right now? And just take a breath. And it's not a judgment, because you could be like, I only have 2% peace. But I want to feel, how aware are you? How easy is it for you to sense that? For me, it's like instantaneous, but I practice this all the time. I've purposely developed the omega strength, the omega energy, the feminine energy, the right brain, because it's really served me in my life. So I can be aware immediately, like, ooh, that doesn't feel right for me. Or like, oh, yes, that's the direction to go. This is a major superpower. So many of us have, like I said, in ourselves, it's never about outside of us. It's never about like, these men wronged me or society is doing this to me. It's always about how have I bought and sold that to myself, so I'm living it, so then I'm a victim to it. If I do not buy into any of that, I'll be in my own balance and I'll have my power back. So one of the things we do, I put together a whole series of videos on this with exercises, how we connect with the omega energy, how we strengthen the omega energy, how we actually access and rebalance what is our own innate balance of that, and develop that strength, which is a wisdom, which is a superpower. And that's the Alive Woman course. If any of you have been in that before, we ran it live. We recorded all the calls, and they're incredibly, incredibly powerful. It's at drkimd.com/alive. And we have just recently relaunched that as just like a home study program. So there are other women who are going through that right now. It's a really, really powerful journey in that course if you would like to move forward with this. But the most important thing, so what can you do to strengthen and develop the omega principle, the feminine energy, whether you're a man or a woman, and whether you have I'm more of a omega woman by nature, or I'm more of an alpha woman by nature. Either way, this will strengthen you. Begin to practice sensing and feeling what's happening within you. Right? Do a little check-in of awareness. Like I said, scale of 1 to 10. How much peace am I at right now? You could also do scale of 1 to 10. How full and fluid is my breath? Right? And that's just an objective. Let me get curious. Oh, I think it's about a 7, right? That's all you're doing, because awareness is the medicine. I want to have a little side note here that's really important is, if you are a woman who says, oh, I'm more masculine woman, I'm more in the alpha energy, that's my nature, and you just kind of immediately go to that, I would ask you to just pause for a moment to get curious. Do you complain that you don't have enough abundance in your life? Do you complain about men? Like, oh, why can't I find a man who could like really show up and be like strong, right? Or you're attracting men who are like, oh, okay, I'll let you carry the bags. I'll let you do the work. I'll let you make the money. I'll let you clean the house. I'll let you do all of it. And they become kind of passive because they will respond to your energy. And if you're imbalanced in your alpha and you're like, I got this, I'm handled, I can take care of myself, you're actually going to push out receiving from men and kind of from the universe at large in general, right? So you're like, I'm working so hard, but I'm not making a lot of money, or I'm making a lot of money, but I'm really not fulfilled. There's an imbalance in omega. And I've seen so many women who use the alpha as a protection, like I'm going to go into my masculine energy, but it's actually a protection because I've been so hurt, because I've been betrayed maybe, because I've been abandoned. It's not the same as this is my natural state. This is where I organically thrive. And I think it's been like 90% of women who I've worked with have that going on. They have like embraced this alpha edge or alpha barrier or wall up where they're like achieving, assertive, maybe even like, I don't want to be with men, but it's instead of being a natural choice, it's actually from a space of defensiveness and protection. It's really, really common. So it's worth a pause, right? Like, what is my natural state? So if you immediately jump to like, oh no, I know I'm this, I would ask you to just pause, go a little deeper and see if there is more clarity that might come up. So competitiveness, challenging, right? Fixing it, get it done, achieving, that's the masculine versus receptivity, opening, even how you nurture yourself. Like, do you touch your body? How do you put, when you put the lotion on, is it like, get it done, let me get it done, here we're going to put the lotion on, or is it about the sensation, right? Oh, I love the way this lotion feels. Oh, it smells so good. And that's your experience. That's more omega. So the first practice to practice more omega energy is check in. Where am I resonating right now? How much peace am I feeling in my body right now? Scale of 1 to 10. How deeply and fluidly am I breathing in my body right now? Scale of 1 to 10. The second one is be willing to be a better receiver. Just practice this week with like receiving a compliment. Someone tells you, oh my gosh, you look amazing, or oh wow, you're really good at that. And you're like, thanks. And you can like celebrate yourself for a moment. Or what most women have been taught to do is deflect. No, I just picked it up. This is nothing. Or, oh no, I don't look good. I look awful. Or, oh, I'm not that good at it. Last week I failed, right? So we like deflect because we learned not to be great receivers. If you aren't practiced at being a great receiver, your life cannot expand and become more abundant. And you can't really welcome awesome relationships. So that's the second piece. And then the third one is practice into sensuality. Whether it's with food, like you'll always see me, anybody who knows me, if I drink something or eat something, and I'm like, oh, it's so good. It's not just like, yeah, I liked that. It's like a full out sensual experience because I'm willing to have that. When you're willing to have sensuality with food or having something to drink or like putting lotion on your body, you will always find you're never going to overeat. You're never going to eat stuff that your body doesn't really love and harmonize with. And you're never going to have self-sabotaging patterns. And I don't mean never, like there's not, just the more you practice into it, you're going to see less and less and less and less of that showing up, like universally. So tapping into sensuality, food, what, even just like clothing, like I'm really, really into what I'm wearing has to feel good and feel cozy. I can sit in it, I can walk in it, move in it, and I'm not going to feel stiff, or I'm going to feel comfortable. Like that's just really important to me because I'm dialed into sensuality. So that's a major, major thing to practice into Omega energy. No matter whether you identify as more of a feminine woman or masculine woman, doesn't matter. This will universally serve everyone because we've all been taught to suppress Omega. We've been taught to suppress feminine energy, and it's killing us, like literally killing us as a society, because what are we doing in the world? Fight this, fight that, go there, overcome, achieve, do more, be productive. Whoa, we're starving. What is it creating to keep strengthening alpha? What is it creating to keep suppressing Omega? I don't know. Let me look. Let me take inventory in my life, in my body, in my relationships, and in our world globally, so that we can actually begin practicing into a different thing. If you would like to be a part of the course, it's at drkimd.com/alive. It's for women specifically. It will definitely change your relationships in massive, very empowering ways. Change your body and change your health, which has happened with so many of the participants in the past. There's also the group live retreat, which is in September. We have a few more spots open for that. That's on the page at drkimd.com/alive. That takes place in September. We'd love to have you there if this resonates. So practice those 3 things this week and let me know how that goes for you. What do you notice? What do you notice in any area of your life? It might surprise you that it's like, oh, I thought this would just be changing in my relationships, but actually it changed maybe in my money or at my work. Everything in your life, it involves alpha and omega energies. So one last thing I wanted to say. Yes, you are going to attract in your relationships not what is your ideal match, but what are you being? So if you're being overly alpha as like a compensatory pattern because you've been hurt or you've been betrayed or whatever may have gone on that you haven't completed and you're still carrying it, you're going to attract a partner who is the opposite, meaning an omega man who's like, maybe not that motivated and assertive, maybe not that much of provider and gonna make sure you feel cherished. And it's like, why am I so dissatisfied in my relationships? Look at who am I being in my alpha and omega energies. Also, if you're depleted in your health and you're like, I'm just so exhausted, but then I'm like trying so hard to read the book and do the thing and eat the diet and do the right thing and figure out what to do. Same thing. It's always 100% of the time what I've seen in my practice. There's a balance in alpha and omega energies. We're trying to do a very omega process, self-healing, or like this client, fertility, with an alpha approach. That just can't work, right? You can't use alpha, the masculine, to try to like get the ovaries to conceive, to ovulate an egg or get the uterus and conception going. So it just like you can't alpha your way into self-healing. Like it just won't work. Self-healing is pretty much universally an omega principle. When you can embrace what you're feeling and embrace what's happening, you've already moved up a notch in your frequency. And that happens through that omega principle, receiving, allowing, embracing, accepting. See how this plays out for you. I would love to hear from you on this. Thank you for being here live. I'm loving your tapping sessions on the Tapping Solutions app. Oh, thank you. Haroon, stop talking. Thank you for that. Yeah, we did a really great program for resolving chronic illness. Oh, good. Kyle from Quantum Healing Collective. I see that too. Yeah, I think for those who are practitioners, it's kind of universal to see these patterns, but it's helpful to think of them this way and then find ways, how do I rebalance what is my natural state? All right, lots of love, you guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.